For the better part of 2 decades, BET, Revolt, Hot 97, and MTV have been the gatekeepers of hip-hop media. They decided who you listen to and who's up next. A lot of this was down to who knew who, like record label execs getting all buddy-buddy with radio hosts to promote the artists they think will sell records and radio plays. That meant it was harder for regular people to get their foot in the door, and made it even harder for artists who weren't commercially viable and made music for the streets, about the streets. Like Lil Durk at the beginning of his career being the perfect example. It wasn't until a Jamaican immigrant decided to make a YouTube channel to cover the deadly beef between rappers in inner city Chicago for people to realize that those gatekeepers couldn't hide their keys for much longer, birthing one of the most, if not the most popular personality in hip-hop media today, DJ Akademiks. The rise of Akademiks was full of controversy, questions of morality, and constant beef with artists at the top of the rap game. In 2001, Livingston Allen moved from Spanish Town, Jamaica to New Jersey after his parents' marriage ended. Later, in a Vlad TV interview, he explained how his mom finessed their citizenship to get them into the country.
You find some dude, you know what I mean, get a little marriage going on real quick. After that, you fake it out. You go to the immigration thing, you answer a bunch of questions, you rehearse it, right? Mm-hmm. And listen, you just kind of finesse it that you could get your citizenship, and then...
Shortly after arriving in the US, he started high school. After graduating from high school with great grades, he went on to attend Rutgers University in New Jersey, where he started studying biomathematics. He ended up becoming a DJ on the college radio WRSU-FM. It was in October 2012 when he created his first YouTube channel, DJ Akademiks, where he would upload his college radio show covering news and hip-hop and completely shitting on Yeezus from a closet. In 2013, he ended up getting kicked off the air for his wild commentary and music choices. At the same time, he was running a website called Late Night Creeps, which consisted of hip-hop news and interviews with Charlamagne the God from The Breakfast Club and K Fox, who ended up having XXXTentacion's iconic first interview out of jail. The website isn't active anymore, probably for the reasons we can all expect. It's probably got some crazy shit on there. In 2014, he started his second YouTube channel, Crime Fails, where he made fun of criminals for snitching on themselves after the act. With just a few uploads, he moved on from Crime Fails, and a month later he created the infamous War in Chirac channel, which solely focused on the gang feuds in Chicago, specifically how it linked to Chicago drill music. This is where the questions of morality come into play. This is what really got Akademiks' name buzzing in the hip-hop world. The idea of the channel was to be the first outlet to break news. If a rapper got shot or arrested, The Breakfast Club is going to talk about it the next day. He was going to talk about it the same day, beating everyone to the punch. Instead of covering more of Kanye West or Drake, he decided to cover new artist Chief Keef, which opened him up to a gang war in Chicago that nobody knew was so violent. Akademiks started to cover news that he didn't relate to or was used to, so he used satire in his commentary in hopes of making people see how ridiculous these beefs were. He then started giving the people involved nicknames, implying that they were evil people, mainly calling people Chirac Savages and Chirac Demons. Rapper Lil Reese was given the nickname The Grim Reaper, which he later used as an album title. The problem with being given those names was those involved in gang wars being covered felt the need or were pressured into living up to those names given to them, which led to more violence. Now you can say Ak was stirring the pot a bit, but everyone is responsible for the decisions they make. After covering what was going on in Chicago, he still hadn't spoken to those involved, and the views on his Chirac commentary kept growing. A lot of rappers that were mentioned in those videos are still around today, like Lil Durk, Lil Reese, Chief Keef, 600 Breezy, and Rico Reckless, just to name a few. He noticed there was a gap left empty on the streaming platform, Twitch. Nobody in the hip-hop community was live streaming, so he decided to basically replicate his videos, but live. And on the 8th of February 2015, he started the YouTube channel King Akademiks to upload the highlights from his streams, which now is what most popular streamers do due to the lack of discoverability on the platform. In 2015, Akademiks made another 3 YouTube channels. Akademiks TV, which no longer exists, he uploaded the first video of the self-titled channel DJ Akademiks after Akademiks TV got suspended, being the new channel to cover hip-hop news, which has now become his biggest channel. Followed by DJ Akademiks TV 2, I don't think I can say the second part of the name, which was the same content on DJ Akademiks, but a lot more critical and opinionated. In 2017, media company Complex wanted to move from print media to digital, so they created a hip-hop centered morning show called Everyday Struggle, hosted by Joe Budden, Nadeska, and DJ Akademiks. The internet kid finally went corporate. Another turbulent part of his rise involved Complex firing a whole bunch of writing staff to transition from print to to video. So Ak is basically responsible for a bunch of people losing their jobs. This new job led him to making the decision to end the war in Chirac coverage, but the start of his beefs with rappers he's been covering for years. First viral moment that put Ak in the spotlight was when Vic Mensa pressed him on Everyday Struggle about the war in Chirac.
I wanted to slap you in your face, honestly. And
less than a week after being in the headlines, he would find himself in another iconic hip-hop moment with the Migos. Interviewing the rap trio on the BET red carpet, his co-host Joe Budden had spoken about the group previously and received some pushback. Akademiks is seen asking Takeoff a question unable to hear. Eventually, Joe Budden had enough and walked off the set, which led to the viral clips of the Migos and the rest of QC squaring up with Joe.
Wait. No, wait.
This is definitely one of the most viral moments in rap in the last 2 decades. In 2018, he started rapping under the name Lil Ak and released songs like Blues Clues and Lanes featuring 6ix9ine, a really close friend of Akademiks, which is another turbulent part of his rise to fame, his relationship with 6ix9ine. This was done basically so we could talk more about rappers' mistakes coming from real experience. Again, Ak's ability to influence the culture was made clear after Wale made everyone aware that he was annoyed at his comments.
People that you see people that think Donald Trump is doing a good job on Twitter too.
So you're saying I'm looking at the wrong audience?
He found himself in another beef with rapper Meek Mill. Meek was supposedly upset about Ak not showing love to his album Wins and Losses, but on Everyday Struggle, Ak claims Meek and his fans gave him a digital jump, telling him how he should post things, receiving threats, so he stopped posting about him altogether.
However, it was really confusing to me because like about 6 months ago, Meek had sent me a DM, him and the rest of the chasers. They gave me a little digital jump in, I like one. They said, listen, either post this way or don't post it at all, right?
His next beef put him head to head with the strongest fan base in hip hop, the Barbs. These guys are crazy. They're fucking crazy. It stemmed from a comment made by Ak after Nicki used an historic picture of Malcolm X holding a gun looking outside his window for the cover of a single. The Barbs didn't take his comments lightly. Feuding with an artist of her size was only positive for his career. During one of his Twitch streams, he went in on John Legend's wife Chrissy Teigen after he commented on her husband's album flopping.
Like, yo, one time she sneaked this to me, so fuck that hoe. Straight up. And John Legend can hear that. Don't have your bitch this to me, because I don't give 2 fucks about none of y'all niggas. How about you take that fucking big ass mouth of yours and that fucking weird ass looking face and start promoting your man's album? Maybe you want to do 25,000 fucking first week. Because you got all the jokes, and when you trying to get at niggas, you think you're the smartest, cutest, funniest thing possible. But your man is still fucking flopping. He's a legend doing 25,000. That's a fucking flop.
Ak is Mr. First Week Sales, and Chrissy Teigen shared a photoshopped image of 6ix9ine with his girl, but with Akademiks' face, and Ak got suspended from Complex. Later in 2020, Everyday Struggle ended and it was all Joe Budden's fault. I'm kidding, I love Joe Budden. He was probably asking for a lot of money at the time, but he probably deserves it now. That didn't slow Akademiks down. He beefed with rapper Nav over a really nice tweet made about him, going on a rant about Nav's relevance on Twitch.
Oh, that we gonna see a new year, but a nigga like Nav, if you rode Weekend's coat, you pretty much an industry plant.
During his time on Everyday Struggle, he had a bunch of mini beefs with rappers like Casanova and Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, he's a buster. He's a weirdo. Niggas will whoop his ass in real life. He behind the camera, and you guys just let clowns be clowns, man.
But the most entertaining Akademiks beef of all time is the ongoing feud with Freddie Gibbs, which started on an episode of Everyday Struggle where he called both Young Jeezy and Freddie Gibbs irrelevant. This led to Ak and Freddie going back and forth on Twitter non-stop. Freddie may be the only rapper to successfully clown on Akademiks through all the beefs in his career this far. This beef created another iconic Akademiks catchphrase, a case of the beats, alongside a Twitter video of Freddie Gibbs getting a serious beatdown in a restaurant, courtesy of Benny the Butcher's goons. He then took on Rory and Mal from the Joe Budden podcast after they commented on his cover of XXXTentacion's death, after they called him gross and a bozo.
Akademiks is a bozo.
And then Ak spoke about how Rory went as far as leaving a threatening letter in his mailbox.
Because you'd never call me when homeboy showed up to my crib.
He's gone back and forth with Hot 97's Ebro and Rosenberg after they discredited his credibility.
The level of bitch in that dude, okay?
Ak saying it's just jealousy because of the rise of new media. He's even gone as far as challenging Rosenberg to box.
So anyway, I called him out to box, hit him up privately. I said, yo, you know what? You clearly think I'm something that I'm not. I said, let's set up a private boxing match. Nobody has to know. No filming, no nothing. Get a ring. whatever. All DMs, like nothing comes out.
but says he was too afraid to take part.
This dude sent me a whole fucking novel, like one of them Harry Potter books, bro, in my DM. No, I don't want to fight. Actually, in reality,
In 2021, Akademiks signed an exclusive Spotify deal for his podcast, Off the Record, discussing all things rap and internet related, already landing huge guests with his connections to the music industry. 2022 was a turbulent year for Akademiks. He started the year in a Twitter beef between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez over whether there was truth to her saying she was shot. During multiple live streams, he reacted to clips of Megan Thee Stallion's media runs accusing her of lying about her relationship with Tory around the time of the shooting. But now we all know how that turned out. One of the most serious allegations thrown at Akademiks was when an old audio clip resurfaced of him talking about consent.
And to keep it real, if you think about it in the bigger scheme of things, there's not much difference between a 20 or a 17 or a 21 and a 17. Just kind of mean one's a minor and one's not a minor. But I will say, listen, I adopted this rule, which I think it was fine. I said, listen, man, as long as a chick got a college ID, she's getting...
He was criticized for this, but eventually nothing more was done. After the tragic death of PNB Rock, Akademiks published a clip from an interview done with him where PNB Rock described himself as a potential robbery target days after he was shot and killed in an attempted robbery. If you're into hip-hop media, you know there's a constant debate regarding uploading clips after someone passes away. It's just ongoing. Then Akademiks got bored and called the pioneers of hip-hop broke and dusty. He received backlash for his comments and was confronted by LL Cool J over an Instagram video.
It came to my attention that a lot of the pioneers in hip-hop, they're dusty or...
Shining the light on his influence in the hip-hop game, Lil Baby dissed Akademiks on his latest album, It's Only Me, leading to Akademiks to make jokes about testifying against Lil Baby in court during a live stream.
One of y'all niggas mention my name and y'all get locked up on the RICO, I'm in court saying that nigga said I could get touched. Real talk. That nigga said I could get touched.
A clip surfaced of Ak getting in the middle of two girls fighting in Miami. He went at Young Miami and called her a side piece. Sometimes Ak's gotta go easy on the Hennessy during those live streams. And the week I'm making this video, Akademiks is going back and forth with Blueface on Twitter. After calling Blueface a stunt double for being hit across the head with a Hennessy bottle by Krishan Rock on their reality TV show. Ak then went on to say he wanted better for Blueface and that a $4.99 subscription shouldn't compromise his character. But Blueface is continuing the situation with more tweets. This shows that Akademiks' influence in the hip-hop scene is important. Otherwise, these artists wouldn't feel the need to reply to literally everything he says.